Well, what up, ladies and gentlemen? So, welcome to our conjunction series for today. And today we are going to be covering Sun, Rahu, and Saturn. So, what happens when you have the three planetary conjunction of Sun, Saturn, and Rahu in your horoscope? And if you do not know, if you have this conjunction in your horoscope, what other conjunctions you have, so you can refer back to my channel to understand their meaning and all the other details in your horoscope. For that, check out the links here and check out my full astrological report, and including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, and Aspects of the Speed of Light, including all my consultations at this link here. So, the three planetary conjunction of Sun, Saturn, and by the way, this background here, this is going to be all changed within like, I think 4 days. You're going to see something very cool in the background here. Very cool. So, Sun, Saturn, and Rahu. What do they represent in your horoscope when they're conjunct? Well, first of all, Sun represents your father, authorities, government, ego, your self-esteem. It's a part of your personality. And Sun also represents your father's lineage. Sun also represents wheat. I mean, Sun represents so many things. I mean, I can just give you a truckload of things that I just can't remember right now. And then you have Saturn. Saturn represents the working class. Saturn represents servants. Saturn represents workaholicness, doing routine, repetitive work. Saturn also represents boundaries, meaning we're restricted by boundaries in this life. There's certain things we cannot do. We're not meant to do. We're not supposed to do. We're only supposed to do the other things. This is why the frustration of Saturn is seen when people try to go and do other things that they're not meant to do. Saturn represents structure, discipline, organization, administration of the government. Then you have Rahu. Rahu represents science, magic, technology, new age technology, communication, new age type of communication, like wireless communication. Rahu is a very obsessive energy that always wants to intake. It never is fulfilled. It's hungry for power. It's hungry for money. But one thing you will realize with this conjunction is that you're a very systematic person. You like doing things very systematically. You want to arrange things in a systematic way, and you want to perceive your life and everything in your life with a certain system. Because of the fact Saturn represents system and Rahu represents the ability to organize that system. And Sun is yourself, your ego. Your ego expresses itself by being systematic, by being a natural administrator. You are your natural administrator, including your father was a natural administrator. Father was a systematic person, perhaps even worked in either a railway, father worked in government, father worked in IT, because I think we've had IT industry for long enough time where a daughter and son can actually relate to it. Yet, it also shows extreme conservative views with this conjunction. As much as you think Rahu is a free spirit and Rahu wants to break boundaries, Rahu wants to, does his own thing. But the thing is, when it's conjunct Saturn, it's becoming Saturn and Sun. These are two, especially Jupiter as well, these are very conservative planets. They want to follow a certain principle in life. So what Rahu does, it amplifies those energies. Rahu is not alone here where it can display its own energy maximum to its ability. No, its energy is going to be seen through, the extreme energy of Rahu will be seen through Sun and Saturn. These people along with their fatherly figures, will be very much into government, very much into, the conservative views of society, the hardcore religious views in society. And they go to the extreme of it, kind of like being a fanatic in a way. And this is why people usually may not get along with their father with this conjunction, because you feel like your father is too strict, too headstrong on his view of society and how society should run. This person could be a person who either believes in no gay marriages, no interracial marriages, no transgender marriages, no transgender itself, or you'll have the other extreme. It can go either way. Especially, you got to understand the sign placement, the nakshatra, the house placement, the house rulership, all of these things changes a conjunction. So in the other extreme, you might find that you might be raised by two fathers instead of father and mother. You might be living in a complete forest-like environment where your father is a naturalist. He wants to live in nature. He goes to the other extreme. Extremes are very common with this conjunction. And also shows, since Saturn is punishment and is conjunct Sun, the father, shows either the father will punish you very severely in your life, or your father will be punished. If, let's say, this is happening in bad dignity, where father is losing his fatherlyhood, meaning not knowing how to treat a child, then you will see these kind of extremes come about. Now, in this case, like I said, especially when I did my Saturn-Sun conjunction, that if either one is debilitated, meaning Sun is in Libra or Saturn is in Aries, they will still help each other out in a way. One will still be uplifting the other. Why? Because Sun is exalted in Aries, Saturn is exalted in Libra. So there, they will always be somehow helping each other out. But you got to understand that early life of this person will be very hard compared to the latter life. When these planets are matured, when these planets are grown up. But if this conjunction is occurring, let's say in your first, second, sixth, 10th house, I mean, these guys love going into places like being an IS officer, going into government-related jobs, politics. Especially in the 4th house, it can really make somebody a great politician. Somebody who knows systematically and strategically how to capture that homeland crowd. They're very conservative in their views, and they will attract those people in their life. Now, obviously, your views can be very, not just conservative. See, conservative is actually a pretty okay view. You're very protected of your environment, but certain times, let's say if Saturn is debilitated and this is happening in the 8th house, a person will go to the extreme, the deep, dark extreme of something. Like this person will have deep embedded psychological screwed up views related to, let's say, white supremacy. Or they have, they just absolutely hate Jews or Hindus. All of these things can happen, but here you got to understand the conservative views or the loose views is simply becomes extreme with Rahu. Because Rahu is amplifying that energy. This is the person who gets in your face about why, certain people should not be allowed in these type of jobs. Why only Brahmins should practice astrology and nobody else. Why Brahman is this and not this, whatever you think. These kind of things, and I've actually run into people like these who had these kind of placements. Because I've done their consultation and then later on they kind of just turned around regarding my views on certain things, and you can just see it. I'm like, wait a second, I thought I did your consultation. And then I'm looking at the chart, I'm like, oh, wow, okay. They have that. No wonder. Okay. So guys, this is my analysis of Sun, Saturn, Rahu conjunction in your horoscope. So if you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to know where your Sun, Saturn, Rahu are placed, all the other planetary placements, conjunction, aspects, and all the details of your horoscope, for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, my books, consultations, everything at this link here. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.